love you. All the good times we had, I wish I could repeat them for the past 3 months. Love and feeling a little feeble.
Robert D.
What's good, y'all? Welcome back to another video. Today, we gonna talk about how RZA created the WuTang Clan. The TV show explains it very well, but let's go into what he has to say. Shout out my boy. I didn't do that last video. That was my fault. Shout out my boy, the House of Culture. Shout out to my boy. Big ups, man. Big ups. Today we got Black Dude playing golf in Optimus Prime, and a special guest. Like my Pine Ranger, you feel me? No gang shit. I'm not about all that. But yeah, let's get into it.
Biggs, even known as the RZA or the RZA-rector, is recognized as one of the most important figures in the history of hip-hop. This video will take a deep look into the life of RZA, from growing up in a poor home to becoming the mastermind behind one of the greatest hip-hop groups the industry has ever seen. This is the RZA story.
I'm sorry if y'all heard that loud ass horn. So I guess someone opened the doors. I don't know.
Robert was born on July the 5th, 1969 in Brooklyn, Brownsville, and the first years for RZA wasn't an easy road due to a broken home filled with chaos and madness. But things would soon get better when Robert was sent to his father's family in North Carolina, where he immediately began to learn things about religion, poetry, spoken word and science due to the teachings of his uncle. However, his stay in North Carolina wouldn't last forever, and eventually Robert was sent back to his mother to live with her in Brooklyn in the Marcus Garvey projects, and it was here the education of the street began. And the first lesson began this one afternoon in the summer of 1976, when Robert and his cousin Gary saw MCs and DJs perform for the first time ever in their lives. It all happened at a block party in the Park Hill projects, and as soon as they arrived, Robert got mesmerized by the never heard or seen before style and sound. Overnight, Robert became a hip-hop enthusiast. He immediately began to DJ, MC, break dance and write graffiti. And together with his two cousins, Gary and Russell, later known as RZA and ODB, they began to make tracks, setting them to R&B records RZA took from his mom. And eventually they even started a group named All In Together Crew, releasing a record with the exact same name. During these times, the three of them became very close. But not only did they connect through hip-hop, they also connected through the 5% Nation, an Islamic influence movement, which spread their message through lessons which ODB, RZA and RZA were studying. And due to the movement, they all changed names, and Robert would from now on be known as Rakim. And today, RZA claims if it weren't for the teachings, he wouldn't have achieved anything. And something else that would inspire RZA during his early years was nothing else than kung fu flicks, especially one specific movie named Shaolin and the Wu-Tang. To put it simply, the movie is about two schools, and they are turned against each other by jealousy. And this very movie would inspire RZA to create a WuTang Clan of his own. But before we talk about how the clan came about, we have to take a look at how RZA really began his career in music. And it all started in 1989 when he signed to Tommy Boy Records under the name Prince Rakim. However, he only released one EP with the single Oh I Love You Rakim, and it was all on some smooth charming the ladies type stuff. Nonetheless, the album wasn't exactly paying the bills, and Rakim was barely scraping by. During this time, Rakim had somehow managed to get involved in a beef between a girl Ghost was seeing and her man's crew. And unfortunately, the beef ended in a shootout, which led to Rakim getting charged for attempted murder, although it was self-defense. And the charge could lead up to Rakim facing 8 years in prison. But somehow or another, Rakim proved his innocence, and he was convicted not guilty. And this whole experience transformed him into another person. because he had now received a second chance, and this time it was gonna be all or nothing. He immediately decided to take the control back over his life, and the first step was the music. He started taking these long walks all over Staten Island every day for hours upon hours, just thinking about what he could and should do, and also about what he wanted in life. Finally, he came to the conclusion to start a hip-hop group no one could ever have imagined. In order to set up the group, Rakim decided to recruit the best rappers he knew. The RZA, Older the Bastard, Inspector Deck, Raekwon the Chef, U-God, Ghostface Killer, and the Method Man. He told the crew to give him 5 years, and it would take them to number 1, and they would be known as the WuTang Clan. Immediately, they started working, and in October of 1992, they recorded their first single, Protect Your Neck, and it wasn't until December it got played on Kid Capri's radio show, which changed everything. And now they were able to enter the music business for real. And in 1993, they released their first album, Enter the WuTang 36 Chambers. It was grimy, gritty and rough, and it offered something completely new to the table. And it was mainly produced by Rakim, the mastermind himself. And this was...
I'm back. I know you guys all love talking about toxic poop, but today we're going to talk about
This was far away from the first time he had produced. For Rakim, producing was like sleeping, and had been doing it for years. He began with a straight arm Technics SL6 turntable, then a Roland 606 drum machine, and by 88 he got his hands on his first sampler. During the time of creating the WuTang Clan, RZA would also become a member of Gravediggers, which consisted of Raekwon the Gatekeeper, Poetic the Grim Reaper, Prince Paul the Undertaker, and RZA the RZA-rector. And although the group has only released 4 albums and RZA only taken part in 2, they're still considered as one of the pioneers in the hip-hop subgenre of horrorcore, due to their intimidating sound and dark sense of humor.
Yeah, the fanatical type. I'm like a bat in the night when it's time to take flight. Here I am in the flesh, say yes, I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed by the sounds the track possess. Intellectual, killer, special, majestical. Open up the devil's, have them hanging for my testicles.
Oh, dang.
Nonetheless, things were
Hanging
going
from
in
your
the
testicles.
right direction for the WuTang Clan.
Okay.
And therefore Rakim could afford to buy a house in Staten Island. And in the basement, RZA built a home studio, where he produced ODB's Return to the 36 Chambers, Raekwon's Only Built for Cuban Links, and mostly of RZA's Liquid Swords. And all of this happened just in the year of 1995. To put it simply, RZA was working like a maniac. And even though everybody else in the clan were going on tours, shooting their music videos and living their life to the fullest, Rakim was determined to stay in the basement. Despite that, the chamber would soon come to an end, due to a flood destroying the whole studio. However, the clan wouldn't let the flood stop them, which led the Wu to buy a new house in New Jersey, equipped with a home studio. And this would lead up to their second album, WuTang Forever. Needless to say, the album became an extreme success and debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200, and RZA's promise was finalized. But after all those years of Rakim working like a maniac, he had transformed into something else. And instead of being a prince, he was now a funky smelling workaholic, working days upon days. But by 1997, all this behavior would come to an end, when RZA found out he had been betrayed by his wife, as well as being let down by the clan. RZA was crushed both physically and mentally. And to take back all the years he had missed out on, RZA decided to become someone else. His name was Bobby Digital, and from 96 to 99, he made up for all the lost time he had been spending in the basement, making music, playing video games, and cooking turkey burgers. The word Diggy in Bobby Digital has 2 different meanings, one being digital technology, and the other being PCP mixed with weed. The word made total sense for Bobby Digital, because during the night he was a party animal, and during the day he would be studying. However, the lifestyle wasn't sustainable in the long run, and by the day Rakim lost his mother, Bobby Digital lost all his powers. And ever since that day, Rakim started to become the man he is today. The story about RZA is a very unique and inspiring one. He went from a...
I mess with this. RZA is a legend in hip-hop. Without RZA, a lot of rappers we have today wouldn't be. A lot of rap groups we have today wouldn't be. With that being said, I give much love to RZA. Rest in peace, ODB. And stay tuned to the next video. Y'all remember, chase your dreams. Peace. RZA the poet.